What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kelvin Krupiak, and today I'm gonna be reviewing another men's subscription box service. We're gonna be taking a look at Trendy Butler. All right, guys, so first things first, I do wanna say I was not paid by Trendy Butler to do this review. The opinions in this video are 100% my own. Also, I do foresee this video being a little long, so I am gonna put up timestamps here on the screen, as well as pin them right down below in the comment section. So feel free to bounce around to the different sections that you would like to check out. First, their service is a flat fee of $65 a month, which makes this one of the more cost-effective subscription box services, in line with something like Menlo Club, formerly known as the 5-4 Club, which is $60 a month. So usually for a subscription box service in this price range, you can expect 2 to 3 items per box. Trendy Butler also advertises a value of at least $150 per box. Now, these more cost-effective subscription box services have some differences in terms of their structure in comparison to some of the more expensive options out there. Those key differences being you are not being charged a styling fee, and you keep everything that's sent to you in exchange for that flat monthly fee, which means you don't have to select what you want to keep each month, which is typically the type of structure you would see from something like Trunk Club, for example, where there's also a $25 non-refundable expense built into what you're paying. Now, the flip side to that means that you obviously don't have access to the quote-unquote personal touch of a stylist that these higher end subscription boxes offer. Trendy Butler advertises how an AI or some type of programmatic selection process is responsible for determining what you receive each month based on the style profile you create. Now then, let's go ahead and take a look at the style profile and the setup process. First, you'll be prompted to select your general style preferences, or essentially what you would prefer to rely on using this box for. For example, are you looking to pick up more professional attire to wear around the office in combination with some elevated casual attire that you can wear out in the evening? Or maybe you work remotely and you would prefer to refresh the casual elements of your wardrobe. I personally think of myself as someone who has a very diverse approach to his style, so I think that's the option I'll select. Next, they want to get a sense for the general colors you gravitate towards. And for this, I'll go ahead and select the more essential neutral colors that I would consider to be more versatile. Following that, we have t-shirt style preferences, and immediately I know I'm going to go with as much variety as I can get. After that, we have general top size, and I was initially a little worried with the fact that there wasn't more fit options on this page, but I did find out later that you have the option to be more specific with the type of fit you prefer. However, until we get there, for the time being, I'll go ahead and select medium. Next, we can select our waist size. So as you can see thus far, it's been some pretty general style information. After waist size, we have our desired fit for pants, which again doesn't have all the options I would like. However, just as I pointed out with the shirts earlier on, once you make your way to the style profile dashboard, you'll have much more options concerning fit. Then we have our favorite style of button-up shirt, and we can select as many options here as we would like. And finally, at the end of that selection process, we're going to be prompted with an offer to sign up before we move over to the rest of the style profile dashboard. However, please note that you can still access the more detailed style section without signing up first, which is actually what I would recommend you do. Before you commit to signing up, I would encourage you to get familiar with all the style, fit, and size options that you have at your disposal with this particular box service. Or if you're eager to get going and you would like to take advantage of the savings they offer, you can certainly sign up right away. Now, moving on to the more detailed style profile dashboard, you're gonna see 3 sections here that we'll take a brief look at and then move into the next section of the video, which I will put a timestamp on the screen for if you would like to skip ahead now. In sizes, we have more detailed options like height, weight, and chest size, as well as the option to size up or down from the size you selected earlier for specific items of clothing, which is a pretty cool option. Now, moving back up to the top, you'll notice fit has its own section entirely. And here you can see we have the options that weren't included in the initial selection process. I now have slim as a fit option for both my shirts and pants, which is great, as well as some more specific information regarding my body type and some of the possible style challenges I might find myself encountering most often, which is a pretty cool thing for Trendy Butler to take into account, in my opinion. And finally, you have the style section, which has a plethora of options for you to sift through, and I imagine this section will evolve over time as you become more familiar with what you want your personal style to be. Also, remember you have a lot of options available to you here, and you can adjust them anytime you want. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what I received in my first box. In this particular box, I received this shirt from Passport, and I had the hardest time trying to find this brand online. So if anyone watching this is familiar with this brand, and you can drop me a link down below in the comment section so I can check it out and confirm the total value of my box, I would greatly appreciate it. Next, I received these swim shorts from Vestige, which is, I believe, how you would say it, and you can see that they generally retail for right around $88 on the brand's website. So at the very least, with this one item, we're already saving given the current flat fee we're paying. I do really like both of these items, however, I don't think I would wear them together. My personal preference in many cases is to balance out busy patterns or designs like this. So with the swim shorts, for example, I would probably prefer wearing a solid colored shirt up top just to balance out the design of the shorts. And with the button up, I would probably want to pair this with something like light brown chinos or distressed jeans. Not to say that there's absolutely no way for them to work together, that's just my personal preference. They're definitely stylish and versatile items that you can add to your wardrobe, and they're quite timely for the season that we're in. Which is another plus, I think, to using a subscription box service. You should always receive clothing that's appropriate for the type of season that you're in. And just for the sake of comparison, you could probably find clothing like this at an off-price retailer with a similar discounted value, but a lot of the times the trade-off is going to be you're going to find clothing that is very much out of season. I've tried quite a few subscription box services up to this point, and I can't remember the last time I tried one that didn't provide me with clothing that was appropriate for the current season that we're in. Finally, before we wrap up the video, let's go ahead and answer the important question of who is this subscription box for? I think this is for two types of guys in particular. Number one, the guy who is just incredibly busy and struggles to carve out time to go shopping for stylish, versatile clothing that he can build his wardrobe out of. And number two, the guy who doesn't like shopping at all, but who would still like to find a cost-effective way to start adding stylish elements to his wardrobe. Based on some of the examples I've seen from the Trendy Butler website, I would say this is an excellent resource for adding versatile items to your wardrobe that would complement the existing foundation you've built from a number of the essential items I would recommend to you. Things like proper dress shoes, a versatile watch, a brown leather belt, a white Oxford, those are all staple point items that I would recommend you pick up first before you rely solely on a subscription box service for building out your wardrobe. And there you have it, guys. Like I said, I imagine this video was a bit longer than I had anticipated, but I hope you found it helpful. If there are any other subscription services you would like to see me review here on this channel, then leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to make that video happen. Also, make sure you hit that thumbs up down below, and if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.